Hi there, greetings and salutations from Hoagies and Hops and Derek. The reality is that we're in here on the ISC Sports Network, and this is episode number 2 from this fabulous location, along with Chillywater. We're actually technically in Chillywater, right next to Hoagies and Hops. Is 42nd and Boulevard?
42nd and Boulevard, yeah.
I used to think 47th. It's 42nd, right?
42nd. As you creep up closer, you get closer to Butler's campus, but this is the southwestern edge of Midtown over this way.
Okay, here's the reality. This is the epicenter of the sports world because you've got the number 1 rated preseason college basketball team right here in Market. You've got the number 1 seed in the AFC and the best record overall in the NFL right here in Market. You've got the defending Eastern Conference champions in preseason basketball right here in Market. And you've got the number 3 ranked and, in my opinion, probably one of the top 2 teams in college football right here in Market.
Yeah, isn't it wild?
Great time to be alive.
Yeah, isn't it wild? I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine over the weekend that we went to IU together, and he still very much is an IU fan, whereas I have a bit of a complicated relationship with IU now.
Why?
And just for a lot of reasons. I have some professional obligations that don't allow me to be emotionally invested like I used to be in IU athletics.
Your emotions are for sale?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, there's no question about that. And we were talking about how funny it would be, I guess I should say.
Did Katie Koletsky ever make a bid on your emotions?
Can we just do the show? Like we have a lot to talk about. Can we just do like a normal? Can you just try to be normal? Let's just do a normal show. Let's try, okay? We're like 3 minutes in. I don't really want to do the Katie Koletsky and like get all the way off track. Like I'm trying to make a point here.
You stalk her?
Just listen to my point, okay? It's completely normal to call somebody trying to hear their voice on their answering machine. That is not a weird thing to do.
Yeah, okay.
That is not a weird thing to do. Anyway.
What about if they don't know it?
She did not have call ID. We did know that. Purdue men's basketball wins the national championship, and IU football wins the national championship. Can you imagine if that like simultaneously happened in the same academic year, in the same athletic year, 25-26 season?
I mean, Derek, and here's the thing.
I'm getting way ahead of myself, but it is funny to think about.
Right? But it's not. And let's begin chronologically with what would happen first, right? And that is Indiana in college football. And one of the things that's interesting to me, it is entirely possible. I'm not saying it's probable. It's possible that we're going to look back, let's say in January, and say, that win at Oregon we thought was super impressive. But it was tempered a little bit because of the fact, and I think Oregon's really good, and we'll get more into this in a second, but Oregon, to me, I was so impressed by Oregon, by the composure they had and the win they had at Penn State. And then since then, that win is completely almost diminished in value because Penn State, you're like, what in the world? I mean, Penn State's a dumpster fire, right?
I mean, I think they broke Penn State, but
that's probably true, right? But nonetheless, I think Oregon's really good. Now, Oregon has been, over the last 2 decades, an elite program that then also has breakability at some point in the year, right? But Indiana out-Oregoned Oregon. I mean, Indiana went in there. Oregon is a team that in college football has been fast. They've been guys in space that can just make plays. They've been guys defensively that fly to the football, all the cliches. Indiana outdid that against them in every aspect of that game. They were faster. They were more on it.
More physical.
They were more physical. They made plays. They had key drives after disappointing drives. They made every play they needed to make at different points in that game. And they went in there, and Oregon, I think, is good. I think Oregon's really good, actually. Indiana went in there and absolutely made a statement to the rest of the country. And anybody that's sleeping on Indiana now, you look at their schedule. And yes, it is possible they slip up somewhere, I guess. But this coach and this program under Curt Cignetti don't show that necessarily liability. And then you look at it and you go, I don't see why they wouldn't run the table at this point up to the Big Ten title game when they would face presumably Ohio State.
Yeah, they're going 12-0. I mean, I think they've got like Michigan State and
I mean,
I guess UCLA is suddenly wait, they don't have UCLA this year, right? They have Michigan State. I think they have UCLA.
They play UCLA.
Okay, they do have UCLA here. Okay, that's what I thought. I looked at their schedule last night and I'm trying to remember what it was, and it really lightens here, especially considering that at State College doesn't look like at State College anymore, right? But maybe Penn State gets the dead cat bounce that UCLA got from Deshaun Foster being fired.
Look, Penn State is the most overrated program in college football for 25 years. Penn State football is Indiana basketball. It's a bunch of fans that sit around and think that because they had a legendary coach 40 years ago that means they're a national title contender year in and year out, and they're not. Penn State has been a fraud for 2.5 decades now. So going into Penn State and winning, which Indiana should do, yeah, in name and cachet, it means something. But what does it really mean? What big game has Penn State won in the last? And I realize Penn State was a half away from a national title like a year ago, right? I get it, but year in and year out, Penn State does this every year, right? Where you get excited. There's a reason why they just fired their coach in the middle of the season.
Got to make sure Christina's not listening right now, so maybe just be a little more.
I get
a little more hushed tones about Penn State.
I get the Hoagies and Hops is the Penn State.
Can you not scream fraud?
I get it, but you get what I'm saying, right? I mean, honestly, like I feel
even
bad.
She would agree.
Listen,
Even Penn State fans would agree.
Penn State because look, I mean, it's an unbelievable environment and it's a passionate fan base. I get all of it, right? But I mean, at some point, it's like, yeah,
there's no excuse for the wheels falling off like this.
Totally.
You know, it's one thing to just beat everybody that you're supposed to and never win the big game, which is where Penn State was, but then to follow it up with that loss to UCLA and really just be embarrassed by Northwestern at home. Just a brutal loss. And they were right. You know, you had to fire Franklin now, figure out the money stuff later, right? But now the question is who are they going to pursue next, because their athletic director is an Indiana alum, and so there's been a lot of talk about, okay, maybe they're going to write a big check for Curt Cignetti. Alabama looks like they've kind of steadied things, so maybe that one is not off the table for now. But I mean, you're talking about right now with Cignetti, with the job that he's done with this historic turnaround for Indiana. That's exactly what it is.
Right.
I mean, historic is almost an understatement.
It's not just historic for Indiana. It's college football historic.
Yeah, he is the most coveted coach that there could possibly be right now.
Yeah.
Which is weird for a 65-year-old guy, right?
What's interesting to me, you know, Matt Rule at Nebraska is probably the front runner for Penn State. He's already been asked about it. He didn't do a whole lot to silence that conversation. He's a Penn State alum. He met his wife at Penn State. He knows the athletic director, all of those things. But when you look at where Nebraska is, and Nebraska's a lot like Penn State. I mean, a very proud tradition, you know, huge loyal fan base, all of it. But Matt Rule is behind in terms of the overall speed of turning things around. What Curt Cignetti's done in Indiana, what Cignetti's done is truly remarkable.
Yeah, it's a snail's pace in Lincoln.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
I personally think now, if you're Cignetti, and there's a lot of conversation about this, and his name is going to be linked obviously to any job, but if I'm Curt Cignetti, I'm looking at it, Derek, and I listen. I can't believe I'm saying this. I mean, I'm 53 years old. I've lived through so many years of Indiana football of like getting super excited because I go 6-5 and getting ready to hang a banner for it, right? And Bill Mallory was a heck of a football coach and a heck of a man and all those things. But to this level that Indiana is with Curt Cignetti, I never thought I'd say this, but if you're Cignetti, why would you, other than finances, why would you leave Indiana? If Penn State comes calling, you look at it and you say, okay, so I can go and deal with all the pressure, all the expectation, everything that goes into Penn State to try to get it to the point where I already am right now at Indiana. Mm-hmm. And at Indiana, if this guy wins 10 games a year, they build a statue of him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, you're exactly right.
But he's making 9 right now at Indiana. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Penn State offers him 15, honestly. Now, Indiana has deep pockets. The question is whether or not Indiana has more fiscal responsibility than that and says we're not going that far into it. I don't think they do that.
I think they go as far as they need to. You know, it just kind of goes back to this. Like, remember a couple of weeks ago we said you need to forget everything that you thought about pre-2024 Indiana football because none of it is relevant anymore. Right. I think you also need to do that with college football and the power structure of college football. I think with NIL and everything else, all of this is now up for grabs. And all of this is in question because is Penn State a better program than Indiana? Of course. Is Florida a better program? Yes. Is Florida State a better program? Yes. Does it matter? I don't think it does. I shouldn't say that. I don't know if it matters.
My point is this. Penn State is one of, in terms of tradition, in terms of heritage, in terms of blue blood, Penn State is one of the 5 biggest programs in college football. Unquestionably, right? But not right now. That's the point. Not right now. Right now, Indiana is, honestly, and they're getting ready to you know, rumor has it they're getting ready to do all kinds of upgrades even again to the football. I mean, if Curt Cignetti said, you know what, I think what we need is an amusement park on Walnut. I think what we need is to rename Monroe County Cignetti County, and we're going to change our colors to black and gold. Indiana would say, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, if Curt Cignetti was like, let's tear down the library, I think you have to do it.
Right. Right.
I mean, we're at that point,
But
right?
football
rules all.
But by the way, speaking of that, remember the rumor with the IU library was that, like,
Up in the stacks?
It shrinks like 10 inches into the ground every year because the books are so heavy.
I thought you were going to talk about a different. Actually, it wasn't a rumor, but
What's that?
that you shouldn't go up into the stacks in the library because some people that needed privacy and maybe didn't get that in their dorm room or their living situation, they were up in the stacks doing private things.
Stacking?
Yeah. Stacking their own deck.
Okay, hold on. You lived in the dorms, right?
Yeah.
You
Right
never,
quad, right across the street from the library.
You never actually had to use the getaway, right? Probably your roommate did because you never left.
I jumped out the window one time.
Of the library?
No. At Wright. But I was on the second floor.
Why did you jump out the window?
I don't want to get into
Was there
the
a
story.
fire?
No, I don't want to, it was an emergency situation for me personally, but it was not like for the dorm. But then they secured the windows, I think, after that. I don't think you could open them anymore.
By the way, Christina just walked out. Do you think should I confess to her that I was saying negative things about Penn State football?
She would say negative things about Penn State football right now. I think, yeah, everybody would.
You think so?
Even Penn State fans. Penn State
why
fans
were you-
are upset.
Here's my question about the library, though. Do you think people still go into the library?
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I get to, but like I actually, here's a game.
Like you were going through microfilm and stuff in the library, right? Like that was your generation.
If you go up to like the 10th floor of the Indiana University Library or whatever university library, okay? I remember one time going up there, and there was a book, and it was like a 1957 medical journal record, whatever. And I'm like, if I pulled this book out and put a $100 bill right in the middle of it and put it up there, and came back in 10 years,
archaeologists would find it.
Is there any chance? I mean, who's going up? Who's going now in 2025? And I love books, right? But who's going into a library at a university? I don't mean like Nora Library. I'm talking about at a university. Who's going up to the 8th floor and checking out a book?
There still is something that's like almost strangely gratifying about just opening up a book. You know what I mean? Like It's almost like vintage, like old school, and studying from it or writing handwritten notes out of a book. I mean, I can't remember the last time I did that as I'm talking about it. But yeah, I kind of agree with you. I mean, even when I was there 20 plus years ago, I mean, I wasn't the most studious kid when I was there. So that's
you were jumping out of windows.
Maybe part of that as well.
Can you believe that we are this far into it and we have yet to mention that really get into the Colts?
Yeah, but I think are you right? I mean, Indiana football is the number one storyline, right? Even more than the Colts.
I'd agree with that.
The Colts are just kind of taking care of business. Like if there was something
they play that song there.
Volatile and all of that going on with the Colts, or this dynamic that I guess Daniel Jones has been a surprise, but we kind of already have covered that through the first couple of weeks. It's not that the Colts aren't a big story. It's just that I think what IU did at Oregon was really, it was a cutesy. Even though I think they were legitimately good last year. I don't want to take away from what they did last year. That was a really good football team. But it was kind of like a cutesy, like, oh, okay, yeah, Indiana, they're here. And they got really – people can say whatever they want about the Notre Dame game. Look, I was there. They were thoroughly beat up on both lines. Like, they couldn't compete up front against a team like Notre Dame. And then to see them really push around Oregon on that fourth quarter drive, that 12-play drive, where they played bully ball. Like they bullied them
out Oregon
that drive. To see them do that, I mean, that was the real wow for me. Like, this is even different. Like, they can compete on this level. Because even last year, they didn't go to Kinnick and win. They didn't go to Oregon and win. Their road schedule was a joke. And so for them to come through and get, like, a really hard-fought win against Iowa and then push around Oregon, it tells me a lot about where IU is.
When we look back on this, I'm going to make a prediction here. If Indiana this season, assuming that it stays on the trajectory it's headed, to me, we're going to look back, and the signature win of the Curt Cignetti era to this point, you're going to laugh, was at Iowa. That is a game that Indiana typically does not win. They go into Iowa, who's a good team. Iowa's a good team, right? They go into Iowa. They had that game. Literally, Indiana snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. They went in and made plays at the end of that game to turn that game around and end up winning that game and showing a resolve in a tough environment. That's a game that Indiana historically does not pull out. And the fact that they won that game, that was to me the statement of this is what good teams do. Good teams find ways to win games, and they did that at Iowa, and then that parlayed them in from there. But to me, that was the game. That was the hurdle. That was the hurdle that woke them up and got them going in the right direction.
Yeah, it just proved that they could do it. It was the last sort of domino for them to get the fall, to push over.
Was it
winning on a road in a tough environment?
When you jumped out the window, was it when the RA smelled something and came into the room? And then you ended up getting a ticket. And
they can't come into the room unless you allow them into the room. You have to understand your rights as a dorm tenant, and I was aware of mine.
Your rights as a dorm tenant. Yeah. You go to a university, a public university, where you're paying to live in their space. Like
have you heard
Judge
of
Wapner? All of a sudden?
Have you heard of the castle doctrine?
The dumbest thing about the what?
The castle doctrine.
The castle.
Your home is your castle, essentially. It's a landmark doctrine, a landmark piece of law, and I figured this out when I was 18 years old.
How did this uphold when you took it to the Indiana University dormitory court?
Well, the thing was, once I started throwing things out of the window, I was in a position where they could gain access to the room at that point.
Okay. Now, did you hurt yourself when you jumped out of the second story?
No, this was a different time. That you asked when the RA knocked on the door or
Derek,
whatever else.
Here's a little tip for you, okay? When you tell the story of jumping out of a dormitory window, you need to embellish it into you were jumping out of the window of a female dormitory because you weren't supposed to be in
I was in my own room, but we were sandwiched in between two all-girl floors. And my girlfriend was on the third floor.
Okay. Freshman
year. And there were no key fobs or anything like that. So you just had access to kind of go back and forth. So I basically lived in her room because it smelled nicer than my room for that first semester. It was great.
And then Ann dumped you, right?
Yeah. She came back after first semester and said, you can't lock down right now. Like, we just got here. And I said, what do you mean? I'm having a great time locking down. And so, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And
so
then
she went into unrestricted free agency and you did not. This has kind of been the story of your life, right?
I spiraled is what I would say. Yeah. So think of somebody that got cut and then just really had like a really difficult time after getting cut. Like that's who I was. Yeah.
What did your parents say during this time? Did they have concerns?
Yeah, I was down bad. Let's just put it that way. I know we're kind of laughing about it now, but I lost a ton of weight. I didn't eat for a while.
No, you gained a bunch of weight because you got busted. Right?
I that was the next year. So I recovered eventually, and then I met Megan and all of that, and then I got a
I've never heard of Megan.
Yeah,
Megan?
From Jersey.
No, I thought Ann was from Jersey.
No, she's from Chicago. Yeah. I was a city guy. I gravitated towards city girls.
Okay.
That's what I like. I like an urban lifestyle.
I like how you were.
And then I married a girl from Vermont. So I guess that doesn't make sense. But yeah,
at
that time.
Chick magnet, weren't you?
It was.
Which of the two of us do you think did better in college?
Well, here was the thing. Like, it was
honestly, which of the two of us do you think has a better resume?
You told me you were like real scared. You didn't like start to kind of like hit your confidence peak and all that until like 25.
That's fine.
I mean, I came to Indiana. I moved 1,000 miles away, and I was like, I own this place. Like, bow down to me.
Okay.
This East Coast amazing backwards visor, multiple piercing.
I got to bow down to you just to look you in the eye. So yeah, I mean, I'm used to that.
I mean,
right?
I was super confident. So I did. I did really well. That's the number one thing that girls like is if you're confident. And I was super. Why are you laughing about that? Like, I'm confident now.
Okay.
But it was a question of quality or quantity type thing. And I actually checked both boxes, but more on the quality side.
I mean, we both did okay.
Yeah, I think so. Put it there.
No, it's okay.
You want to do it on the show?
No, I'm not going to give you a 2.5 there. No.
When we come back here from Hoagies and Hops, we'll have our Hoagie and Hero of the Week. Also, I want to
apparently the Hero of the Week sitting right here, right? Based on his confidence.
It was heroic. I don't want to relive those days.
We haven't even gotten into the Colts yet, Derek. They're the number one team in the AFC.
I know. We got to talk
the best
Colts.
record in the NFL.
We got to talk Colts. 5-1 Colts. We'll come back with that. And who is their MVP?
Lombardi.
We'll have a discussion about that.
MVP, that's obvious.
Is it? It's Corey and Schultz Hoagies and Hops, Chili Water Brewing Company. Stick around here on the ISC Sports Network.
Hey, AC!
Nice snap.
Mortgage is a snap! Duh!
Bailey and Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
Hey, AC!
Nice snap.
Mortgage is a snap! Duh!
Bailey and Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
I'll cue you on. Welcome back. Hoagies and Hops and Chili Water Brewing Company here on the ISC Sports Network. He's Corey and Schultz. He's Jake. I'm
It is
Derek.
glorious, by the way. Like, this location is glorious in so many different ways. And just so, listen, we come out here. We obviously tape this on Tuesday, earlier in the day than when you were watching this. But it is such a gorgeous, everything about it. The weather outside is beautiful. The environment is beautiful. The food is beautiful. The beer is beautiful. Like, it nothing against the studio where we used to record the show.
No, it's fun.
But this is a whole nother level.
No, it is. And the best part about it is that we can just kind of go like this and then just wave people on, and then they just bring us food. Like, Christina's got cheesesteaks ready to go for us for our Hoagie and Hero of the Week.
Are we doing the cheesesteaks?
Yeah.
We're showing the outside of the building right now.
Buddy,
I mean,
let me tell you something.
that's
look at that.
that's
Look
where
at
it's
the
at.
setting here.
Wireless camera.
Look at the setting right here in terms of where we are located. Gotta love it. 42nd and Boulevard right now. Outdoor patio, outdoor
That's what a Hoagie
dining,
eating contest
perfect
was.
weather. Saturdays in here, college football. Sundays, NFL, chili water beer, Hoagies and Hops. Gotta love it.
It's a great,
Gotta love
great
everything
neighborhood
about it.
spot for sure. Let's get to our Hoagie and Hero of the Week. Ooh, look at this. And Christina just handing us the beers.
Yes.
This is my favorite. I love this one. Team Builder. Grapefruit Rattler here.
Team builder.
Delicious. That's what it's called.
Oh, I thought
Team
you
builder,
were
that's the
saying
title
like
of it.
you and I have some sort of team chemistry. No, let's not get ahead of ourselves, right?
Nice, sweet, crisp, a delicious beer here at Chili Water. And then we have, look at this, Jake.
Oh, the
Cheesesteak.
best. This is the
Phillyapolis.
best.
This is delicious. So let me explain what's
Look at
on
this.
here. Little ribeye, little bacon, little whiz, and it's topped with horsey mayo as well. Absolutely delicious for our Hoagie of the Week.
Unbelievable.
Sorry. I forgot that I've got the microphone here. I got to put the microphone up. Phillyapolis, Colts, cheesesteak. Christina, how long do you have this?
So we started it in 2021.
Gotcha.
Originated right here in this building.
Who came up with this? Was this a Donnie creation or that was a all right?
I mean, horsey bacon. I felt
That's
it was
right.
in
Horsey bacon, absolutely delicious here. I love all the cheesesteak. Have you had the very best? Have you tried that one?
Why would you grab the napkin? You grabbed the napkin to hand me and then immediately wiped your mouth with it.
Oh,
What do
here.
you do? No, but
Sorry.
you're literally one of the most disgusting human beings I know.
Also, I want to mention this too, and this is special to Christina's heart. So this is the Nan's potato salad. This is the best potato salad you ever had. We talk about all the sides here being house-made, right? Like the house-made slaw, house-made Nan's potato salad as well. Absolutely delicious. And there's an October fundraiser for the Nan's potato salad, 100% of sales. So if you get Nan's potato salad, all of it, 100% goes to multiple myeloma cancer research at IU Health in honor of Christina's Nan, who of course passed away in October of 2016 from the disease. So this is, obviously a personal touch, near and dear. Food brings family together, right? And she named it after her Nan, and now is giving back to her Nan for the disease and to try to find a cure for that and awareness for that. This thing gets wonderful.
Derek, this is what I've always said. The thing I love about Indianapolis is the fact that Indianapolis is the city. People that live in Indy have a great pride about Indianapolis. And we love local businesses. We love mom and pop businesses, right? Hoagies and Hops brings that from home because Christina knows what home is, right? She comes to Indianapolis from Philadelphia. She feels the Indianapolis family feel of it and then brings her family right here to marry the two of them together at Hoagies and Hops. That's what's special about a family-owned business. That's what's special about a local place that's bringing their local to our local, the marriage of the two, and it's the best. And
Amen.
that includes their sandwich, by the way.
Let's get to our hero of the week, too. I want to mention the hero, of course, not just the Hoagie. Hero of the week. I could have gone in a couple different directions. I feel like we've given this to Curt Cignetti so much that we have to give it to somebody else. But how about Elijah Surratt? I mean, they couldn't cover him. 8 catches, 121 yards. He has the 2 straight weeks now where he's had the game-winning touchdown. He did it at Iowa City. He did it in Eugene. This kid, he wasn't even a prospect. He wasn't even rated. He was at St. Francis of Pennsylvania, some FCS program, and has a big season, and then transfers to JMU, and then blows up at JMU. And Curt Cignetti is like, hey, why don't you come with me to Indiana? He's like, okay. And then he blows up at IU. He has a great season last year, almost 1,000 yards. He's one of the best, not only receivers in the Big Ten, but in the country this year. I saw a mock draft that had him as a day 2 draft pick. I'm not a scout. He looks like a day 1 draft pick to me. He's unbelievable. And, you talk about the secret sauce for Curt Cignetti. And, part of it is the fact that obviously he's a gifted football mind and he's a great motivator and he's cocky and he's confident and his team breeds that. His team walks the talk for him, right? But I think one of the other aspects of this that is so hard to figure is that you've got all of these guys, Pons, Surratt, so many of these dudes that came from JMU that were nobodies. They were nothing prospects.
Derek.
And then they were all league players in the Sun Belt, and then suddenly that all translated to the Big Ten and to being, these guys are some of the best players in college football. Not only did they hit as transfers, I mean, every single one of these guys is a grand slam.
Did you see Paul Feinbaum say that Curt Cignetti's too cocky for him?
He's already dug in, so he's just got to dig deeper. Right? I mean, he has already established the fact, I don't like Curt Cignetti, so regardless of what Cignetti does from here, he can't about face. Have you ever been so wrong in a take that you just can't give up the take?
You?
No, because I'm usually right. Trying to think of something that I was wrong about recently. I've been on a hot streak.
It's going to be very awkward for Paul Feinbaum if Cignetti eventually ends up at Alabama.
But again, Jake, here's the thing about Feinbaum. Feinbaum is trapped in the old world. He all of these people, they don't like Alabama and Auburn and LSU's standing being questioned because in the old college football world, what Indiana is doing is inconceivable. Because it's Notre Dame and Alabama and Penn State and Ohio State and the power structure of college football has not only been turned on its head, it's been dissolved.
Right.
It's gone. So what you previously thought in all of these years that Paul Feinbaum and all these others put into, okay, here's how it is and here's how it's always going to be. No, it's not always going to be that way because Indiana is showing that it's not that way. Blue blood, new blood, and all this. I don't care what you call it. What Indiana was before 2024 does not matter anymore. And Penn State being a better program than Indiana does not matter anymore because that's not today's college football.
I mean, it does. It makes you wonder. Scott Dolson and going out and getting Cignetti was, I mean, obviously, what Cignetti was on the radar there around that time, right? Because JMU was all of a sudden, here they were, this program that was ranked in the top 25. He's going on to game day, and you see the bravado of him. So it's not like he was totally off the radar. But for all intent and purposes, he kind of was. And then you wonder if programs now, is this going to be a trend where people are going to go out like a Penn State? I mean, I think we talked about who Penn State goes after, right? But are there programs that now, a Kansas, whatever it might be, that look at and they've got a good coach, but you get what I'm saying, a non-traditional football school that just say, you know what, we're going to go out and get a guy that has a huge record and at a small IU Indian basketball, right? Let's go get somebody that's won 80% of his games at a smaller school and see if it translates over, and you wonder if this is going to become a trend.
Yeah, I just think, and I'm not trying to discredit anybody here, but sometimes
it's hope for the Derricks of the world, the little guys.
Sometimes
right?
you
Isn't
just
that
have to.
The little guys have a chance now
okay.
to increase, right?
Sometimes you just have to get lucky. And, it's something that we haven't seen with Indiana basketball where they just haven't been lucky. Like, no one could have seen that Curt Cignetti was going to do this in Indiana. You could think that he was going to solidify the program and that Indiana had the potential to win 8 or 9 games. Nobody knew that Indiana was going to do anything close, especially not this early. But you had to get lucky. The Colts, too. The Colts had no idea that Daniel Jones was going to play at this level. Did they think that he would raise the floor of the offense and be competent? Yeah, absolutely,
Derek.
which he's been. But they got lucky. It's not like Chris Ballard suddenly was able to now identify a great quarterback, or Dolson was able to now suddenly find a great head coach for Indiana. I think those guys deserve credit for what they had. But I think sometimes in sports you just have to luck out.
Let me ask you something. A year ago, is Daniel Jones this year's Sam Darnold? Sam Darnold in Minnesota a year ago had this rebirth year, found stability,
Sure.
takes them to an unbelievable season. But here's the problem. Midnight struck for Minnesota as soon as they went into the postseason. And Sam Darnold all of a sudden turns into the pumpkin, right? And so now you see, obviously, that they decide. Now, a little bit different because Minnesota had a young quarterback waiting in the wing.
And they're different players.
But does Indianapolis, does Chris Ballard, are they still looking at this saying, okay, is Daniel Jones their stabilizer or is he their future?
If Daniel Jones keeps playing like this, there's no
Understood.
way that you don't do everything that you can to retain him. There's no way that you jump back into the unknown this offseason and say, we're going to find somebody else.
We haven't
No
even
way.
discussed at this point the fact that Anthony Richardson seems to be a magnet to the bizarre.
Yeah, geez. And you feel for him at this point, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you
I
talk
mean-
about having like the worst 3-month stretch ever to hurt yourself with a resistance band and like seriously injure yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds horrible. What he did to him, like, remember the guy, who was it on the Vikings? Ruptured testicle? Remember that one? Like, there's some sports injuries where you're just like, dislocated kneecap. That sounds horrible. Like, I would rather my kneecap stay located. I would rather my testicle stay unruptured. I would rather my eye socket remain unfractured. We're talking about injuries, Jake. Why are you?
Okay, fractured orbital bone is perfectly sufficient.
Sounds terrible, though, doesn't it?
It does.
Sounds terrible.
It does. There's no reason.
It's just
there's no reason.
crack, like right here.
Okay.
Ow.
Yeah, that alone, you don't need.
It's like getting punched in the face.
You don't need to illustrate the severity or the pain of a fractured orbital bone by taking it to and making the analogy of a ruptured testicle.
Well, what I mean is,
like, I think fractured orbital bone is self-sufficient. I don't know that we need to elaborate beyond that with the analogy of the worst possible thing that you could ever imagine.
the force that it
How
takes.
does that even happen?
No, what I mean is the force that, your orbital bone is pretty strong up here, right? The force that it takes to
it's below
fracture
it,
that.
isn't it?
What's that?
I think it's below it.
Oh, okay. Well, but still, the force that it takes to fracture that, or the force that it takes to rupture a testicle, like that is tremendous force to cause that sort of injury. And when you think of the pain threshold of something like that, like you think of, this is a very sensitive area. This is a very sensitive area. And for those things to then have sharp traumatic, like trauma to an orbital bone, trauma to a or both testicles, to have those things happen, it's just hard to kind of process and think about. Luckily, knock on wood, I have not gone through either of those injuries.
Are we done?
We're talking injuries. What else?
Anthony
do you wanna
Richards is
talk
going
more
to miss some
Colts?
time. I do recall.
He's going to miss 4 weeks, right?
I mean,
At
Derek,
least. I mean, he's not going to be the Colts quarterback ever again. So it's almost like the timelines for Anthony Richardson. It's not even relevant.
I hate to say this. It does feel like, and to your point, in all seriousness, you feel for him. You feel for Anthony Richardson because, I mean, it almost seems as though this is like the symbolic way for it to end. And the fact that you're, and I don't mean to make light, in all honesty, of this injury at all. But sometimes sometimes you just got to rip off the Band-Aid and say, that's it. And you need an abrupt reminder that this is done and we got to move on. And it does feel that way at this point with Anthony Richardson of, were they going to then hand it back over to him for next year and whatever else? And it's like, you know what, this was the football gods saying. And I do think, Derek, and I hope for him, that he goes somewhere else and he gets a second opportunity and he is able to turn himself into an NFL quarterback and have a good long career. I have no reason to believe he's anything other than a nice young man that deserves those things. But in terms of his time in Indianapolis, it's over.
But glass half
And
full.
it's been over for a while.
Glass half full. Look at Darnold. Look at Geno Smith from a couple years ago. I know that's, kind of playing out. Look at Baker Mayfield. Look at Mac Jones has found success. Like all these guys have found success in second homes. It's over for Anthony Richardson here. It doesn't have to be over for him as an NFL player.
I agree with that.
It doesn't have to be. He's going to get another chance somewhere else. It's just not going to be here.
Yes,
It's over for him here, unfortunately. We talked about this going into the break before we got to our Hoagie and everything else. You said it was obvious. Who's the Colts MVP right now?
It's Daniel Jones.
Okay. Do you have something to argue that with?
Yeah, a year ago he wasn't here and they sucked. And now he's here and they're good.
Well, yeah, but Jonathan Taylor might be OPOY. And with Taylor having the season that he's having, some people think that he is the most important player. Offensive player of the year?
Okay.
Look.
But the most valuable is Daniel Jones.
I agree with you that in order for any of this to work, and this is no offense to Jonathan Taylor or Michael Pittman or anybody else, in order for any of this to work, the Colts have to have competent quarterback play. And not only are they getting competent quarterback play, they're getting top 10 quarterback play. Probably getting top 5 quarterback play. And, Jones, what I like about him, Jake, is that we keep waiting for the carriage to turn into a pumpkin, right? And he throws that awful interception. Just awful. Just a terrible throw, a terrible decision. And you're like, oh, God, what are we doing here? And the Colts look like they're on the ropes that entire game. It just looks like one of those games where, okay, the Colts laid an egg, and here's Arizona. They're going to win by 4 points or whatever. And then in the fourth quarter, he was perfect on those final 2 drives. He was perfect. I think he was actually 6 of 7. But still, he led 2 fourth-quarter touchdown drives, and he was at his very best when they needed him the most. And that's all you can ask for Jones. Like, Jones is not going to be Peyton Manning where he's going to go out there and throw 5 tuds and 400 yards or anything like that. You need him to be at his best, though, when the game is on the line. And so far, Jones has been that way.
And to your point, to be fair, I remember Derek, and not to go on the way back because, with each passing year it becomes even more antiquated. But, I covered the Rams teams that had Kurt Warner and Marshall Faulk. And matter of fact, I think they might have even alternated years of NFL MVP. I mean, Warner won, Faulk was an MVP. You could make the argument on any year between the two of them because it's kind of chicken and egg, which is more important, the quarterback or the running back. Yes, Jonathan Taylor allows Indianapolis to salt clock, and he gets better as the game goes on, and he is a dynamic back, and he opens up a ton of things. Truth be told, I mean, their MVP is Daniel Jones for the reason I said. But another guy that is, if we're going to go there, Tyler Warren is a huge piece too, because the dynamic that he brings and the dimension he brings to their offense, he literally expands out a defense because you have to have eyes on him at all times more than any other player within that offense. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, sure, but there are so many different areas in which you can use Warren. I think that kind of floats a defense around. He is a critical piece as well. But I just think when it comes down to it, in terms of if there is the one player that if you take them off, you get the biggest drop-off, it probably is Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I agree with that because it's scary to think about the unknown because the Colts have been in the unknown for the last 10 years.
Right.
And now they feel like they have some known here with Daniel Jones. Hoagies and Ops, 42nd Boulevard. Get the Phillyapolis Colts cheesesteak.
Chili water.
On special or the very best or just the regular cheesesteak or the Zaire. Go through their
Team
menu.
builder, baby.
Hoagiesandhops.com. Team builder's delicious. The grapefruit rattler from Chili Water Brewing. And we've got this beautiful bar and all their beers on tap. And then they've got the cannery over there. So they got the cans in the fridge. Nan's potato salad, 100% of the procedures go to charity.
Procedures.
For, proceeds. Go to, I was thinking illegal procedure for some reason. Go to the fundraiser for Christina, and we're so excited to be here with our friends with Chili Water and Hoagies and Hops as well. Oh, I forgot to mention one more thing. $30 gift card on the line.
Really?
Christina putting this up. So follow at Hoagies and Hops on Instagram, IG. You can tag ISC as well. We've got our ISC account. Brant's going to want me to do that or else he's going to get mad. And Brant, when he's mad, watch out. He gets very angry. Tell them what Sando you want to try.
Sandwich.
Yeah. Just message them or whatever else. Follow them. You can do it on Twitter. Twitter X. You can do it on Facebook. Any of the social medias at Hoagies and Hops, I think, on all of them. Maybe Instagram actually has underscores underneath, I think. But anyway, check them out. Find them. Search them on social media. Follow them. And let them know what sandwich you want. And we're going to throw you into a $30 gift card. Be sure to tag ISC as well so we can go through them and see them. But we're going to run that for the next couple of weeks. So we'll add all that up. And, yeah, it'll be fun. $30 gift card gets yourself a couple of
If you're
standos, couple of
lucky when you
cheesesteaks.
come in for your gift card, Derek might be in here eating lunch.
We come back on the show.
Or myself.
There's actually a really good possibility of that.
I know.
We've got our
So-
quick hits. We've got our IU Indy Jags report to get to. And Chateau Kitchen's Buy It or Bold Bleep. It's Corey and Schultz.
I got the Jag right
from
here.
Hoagies
baby.
and Hops and Chili Water Brewing here on ISC.
At Bailey and Wood, we
Welcome back. Corey and Schultz. Look at that Phillyapolis. Hoagies and Hops, Chili Water Brewing, Tap Room. There at 42nd and Boulevard, our new home taping location.
So if Philly, obviously the iconic, when you think of Philadelphia, the first thing you think of is the Liberty Bell, right? I mean, it goes without saying.
I think of Rocky, but yeah, Liberty Bell for
But
sure.
I mean, I'm saying in terms of symbol, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
What would it be for Indy? The Soldiers and Sailors Monument? I mean, the Speedway, but there's no, I mean, the pylon, the bricks, there's no, like, definitive
Probably the
image,
yeah. I
right?
would say the monument. Honestly, the Salesforce building would be way up there. It's a neat looking skyscraper, but I think I think the Soldiers and Sailors.
Have you
monument
seen
would
that?
be number one.
There's that new hotel they're building, right? It's supposed to be 28 stories.
Signia or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like right now, it does this, and then there's like a top thing, but that's only like at the 14-story mark. So are they doing a second piece that goes on top? What's going on there?
No
Do you
idea.
know?
I'm not an architect. No idea.
It seems like it's hit like it's like you in the 7th grade. It's hit like this peak where you wonder if it's gonna, like, does it get bigger or is this it?
Well, I didn't hit puberty until 10th grade, sophomore year. Started noticing changes.
What changes?
I don't know. You went through it too. You understand?
Mine was a slow process.
Yeah. Mine was quick, lightning quick. Like I woke up one day, it was like, hello. Yeah, it was
Okay.
great. This portion of Corey and Schultz brought to you by our friends at Bailey and Wood Financial Group.
Did your voice crack at all?
350 home. No, not really. I always had a sexy voice. That's kind of weird for a 15-year-old. BAWFG.com if you want to refi.
Bailey Wood's
Interest
great.
rates going down. Maybe you want to refi. Maybe you want to get pre-approved for your home mortgage. Do so with our friends at Bailey and Wood Financial Group. 5-star customer service for Mike Wood and his team. They went down to the Dolphins game. Did you see Walker with Dan Marino?
Oh, it's
Pretty
awesome.
Cool. Pretty cool. Mike posted a picture of it on his socials a couple of days ago.
Speaking of
Really
that,
neat.
and I feel for Mike because the Dolphins have obviously, I think we thought they were going to be pretty good this year. Are they going to be, Derek? We've already had one coaching change in the NFL, or firing, I should say, in Tennessee now with a vacancy. Is Miami next?
Yeah, I don't know why it hasn't, I guess, happened already, but yeah, I think they're on that list. It's funny because this is a year where I think everybody kind of sucks. It's a very weird year I think the AFC stinks.
It is weird.
I think the
to your
AFC
point,
stinks.
Who are let me ask you this. We'll take the Colts out of it because, who are the best teams in the AFC?
Yeah, by default, I think you still have to say the Chiefs and Bills. Like I don't think the Steelers are very good.
I don't disagree with that.
The Steelers keep winning, but I don't think they're very good.
Okay.
And I think the middle and bottom of the AFC is awful.
Okay, so what about this? Every year in the NFL, we do this. Every year, right? There's a team around this time of year where you look at it. You and I have had this conversation before, where you look at it and you go, are they good? I think they might be good. The Colts are that team nationally speaking right now, no question about it. But let's say in the NFC, who's the team that you're like, are they good?
I mean, the Falcons
Okay.
might be on
Good
there.
defense, right?
Yeah, I think they're pretty good.
The
They had a
Bears?
nice win last night. I don't know.
I mean, they're competent, the Bears.
Yeah,
right?
they're competitive
Okay.
every week.
What about the team that you go, it's got to jumpstart here at some point, and they got to get going? Like, what's going on? I mean, the Ravens would be that team in the AFC. That's obviously circling the drain. But in the NFC, who is the team that you're like, what's going on here? I expected more.
Well, Dallas.
Every year, right?
Yeah, I mean, they've had CD Lamb. They've had some injuries that are there. But I just look at like the Seahawks. That Cardinals team, even the Vikings, the Commanders.
The Commanders are the one to me. I thought Washington was poised to really make a step, and they're not
those
terrible,
teams.
but they just can't get out of that
The
vat,
Falcons, like I just think the amount of decent to good teams in the NFC is so much higher than in the AFC, where you're either the Colts and you're pretty good, or you're just downright bad. Like the Dolphins are bad, the Titans are bad.
This is what the NFL, and this is why it's the 800-pound gorilla, because of the parity of the NFL, right? I mean, when you look at the NFL and you're looking at if you are into this kind of thing and you're looking at point spreads and you're like, that's a 13.5-point spread on a game, you very rarely see that in the NFL, right? You don't have a New Orleans Pelicans or a Charlotte Hornets of the NFL for the most part. Even the very worst. New Orleans is terrible, right? Tennessee is terrible. But they still have the occasional moments where they're in a game, they're hanging around it. There are very few blowouts, if you will, in the NFL.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, it's tough to tell. Buffalo in particular. I thought Buffalo offensively, you would think, should be a juggernaut, and yet teams are able to keep them in check a little bit. Kansas City the same. Baltimore, we already discussed that. And I agree with you about Pittsburgh. I mean, Pittsburgh right now is technically the number 2. If the playoffs begin today, which it doesn't, Pittsburgh's right up there. What are they, the 2 seed? Are they good? We're going to find out. The Colts play them, but, Aaron Rodgers is playing at a decent level.
I just think this will be one of those years where, look, I think the Colts are going to go like 12-5, probably something like that. Maybe they'll be the number 1 seed. But there's just – I was watching that game, the Chiefs-Lions game, and, Jake, there's just something – there's something about them, almost like – I don't even know what to compare it to, like 90s Yankees, I guess, where even when you think, like, clearly the Chiefs are flawed, right, and you think that they can get got. They can get got. But you almost have to give them the benefit of the doubt, don't you?
You're right.
Like when the lights are on and when they have to do it, they just do it because Mahomes is that good and Reed is that good. And it's just hard for me to get that out of my mind. Regardless of how good the Colts look this year, I'm always just going to be very wary of Kansas City. But, Baltimore is a mess. Cincinnati's just off the radar without Burrow. I mean, they just completely fell apart. And these other teams, like, I just don't think Jacksonville is that good. I don't think the Texans are that good. I don't think the Steelers are that good.
Listen, the division for the Colts is, it feels like it's being served up like we just were
the
with
whole
our sandwiches, right?
Like this Chargers game, I think is really going to be interesting to me because I don't really know if the Chargers are good or not. And I think this is going to be an interesting
The Chargers have a very susceptible offensive line, which is good for the Colts because the Colts need any help they can get to get a pass rush going. That's the one. That in the defensive backfield, and that's an attrition issue for the Colts, are the question marks. Yeah. Justin Herbert is an elite level arm talent guy, but the Chargers have had difficulty and challenge at times protecting him. And so that's the one thing that I think is an area that could help the Colts. It wouldn't surprise me if the Colts go in there and win. Just would not, because they've been taking care of the football. And then correct.
But 2 concussions in 6 weeks for Charvarius Ward is a very tough issue. I mean, that's a guy that you can't lose because every guy off the street that the Colts have carted out there has really, really struggled. And you saw it again with Jonathan Edwards.
You mentioned the Yankees.
Yeah.
Can we just take a moment real quick, if we could, just for 2 seconds? Thank you. A moment of silence for the Toronto Blue Jays, my Toronto Blue Jays. I'm all in. Alejandro Kirk's one of my favorite players. Love the Blue Jays. Vlad Jr., I'm all in. I'm a Blue Jays fan through and through. Die hard. Watch the games. Locked in.
Die hard.
Where did the Mariners come from?
Mariners are one of those
I've been
franchises.
a Blue Jays fan, Derek, for almost 7 weeks now. I mean, in the mid-'90s, huge fan. Joe Carter, going back, mid-'80s, Mrs. Kinnear's Cotillion, 1985, I got busted doing the waltz, learning all the things at finishing school there. And I had a Walkman in my ear, wanted to hear Lloyd Mosby, George Bell, that Jesse Barfield, Dave Steeb, the 85 Blue Jays, went to the ALCS, lost to the Royals, lost at Exhibition Park. But having said all that, my fandom reawakened this year. Saw them in Fenway, won 9-0, all in, Blue Jays. The Mariners, where in the world do these guys come from?
You know what's interesting about the
Can
Mariners?
you name a Mariner besides the big dumper dude? Can you name another?
Yeah, Julio Rodriguez. I mean, they have a couple others.
The guy with the belt buckle.
I do think the Mariners are one of those teams, and there are very few teams in American pro sports that are this way, that have been around for decades and really have never won anything.
Correct.
Like they've only made the playoffs a small hand. They've been around 50 years almost. And they're like the Atlanta Hawks of
that's a very good comparison
of Major League Baseball.
The Atlanta Falcons.
But Jake, even the Hawks, like the Hawks had that run with Dominique where they were in the playoffs every.
Right.
I understand it's a larger playoff field in the NBA than historically it's been in Major League Baseball. But the Mariners, they've had Junior and they've had Randy Johnson and they've had Felix Hernandez and they've made the playoffs like 5 times in their history they've never made the World Series.
Were you intrigued by that little fun fact I came up with when it came down to a couple of teams left in Major League Baseball?
I don't remember what it was.
Seattle. The ALCS, Seattle and Toronto, what do they have in common?
Cold?
Seattle and Toronto entered Major League Baseball at the same time in
Is
the
it
expansion
rainy
in
in Toronto?
1976, their first season in 77. The two of them came in together. Seattle,
Lack of relevance.
the Mariners entering Major League Baseball held the door and said, "Oh, come this way," and the Blue Jays went in with them. And the two of them walked in together. The Mariners, Blue Jays, expansions together. Then Seattle, though, at that time, Derek, Seattle, people in Seattle that were baseball fans in 1976, they were totally excited. Reawakened baseball in Seattle. Hallelujah. Emerald City, Space Needle, the whole deal. We have baseball again because we had a team for a year and then it left. You know who it became?
Brewers.
Correct. Milwaukee Brewers. Seattle
Because we
Pilots
talked about
became
this last
the Brewers. Now, here's the other thing. The Blue Jays, okay? Blue Jays are saying to themselves, it's great that we're here, and we are hoping to get into the World Series where we're going to face the possibility of the other National League teams. We now know it's the Brewers or, obviously, the Dodgers. But one of those teams that was in play, the Phillies, right? 1947. You know what the Phillies went by?
Athletics.
Blue Jays. No, the Philadelphia Athletics are a different franchise. They left.
Yeah, Philadelphia Athletics, and
No,
then they became the Phillies.
Philadelphia Phillies
Yep.
in 1947 were known as the Philadelphia Blue Jays. So the Blue Jays, if you're a Blue Jays fan like myself, diehard, you feel a little bit conflicted
That's right.
because of the Philadelphia ties to 1947, but
You know
the
what
Phillies
sucks
now
about
have
all
been
this?
eliminated.
As fun as it is to have like the Brewers and the Mariners and stuff, just watch. It's going to be the Dodgers in 5 winning the World Series.
Can you imagine?
Repeat champions. You're just like,
I don't know why this – now, all the kidding aside, I'll tell you something interesting. I do feel like this postseason, and I don't know why. I just went to Denver, okay? Went to Denver for the weekend and stayed with Shannon's brother. And I get up on Saturday morning, and
you guys could probably
Shannon's
get your own
sister-in-law.
spot, right?
What's that?
You guys could probably get your own spot at this point. You're both working professionals.
No, freebies.
Like a hotel.
Listen,
Just
if
you're couch crashing in your
if you
50s.
could see Shannon's brother's house, beautiful house out in the burbs, mountains in the view,
I'm
huge
just-
basement,
I'm
sauna.
busted chops. I bet they have a whole
great.
guest suite in the
No,
whole
it's great.
deal, right?
But
Yeah.
but anyway, so we go out there, and I get up in the morning, and Dee Dee, which is Shannon's sister-in-law, she's like, "Hey, have you been watching a lot of the baseball?" And I'm like, it's funny you mention that because I've not been a typical postseason baseball guy the last handful of years, but I've really gotten into it this postseason. I don't know why, and they were all in as well. And it does feel like there have been good matchups, and people have just become kind of I think Major League Baseball has had kind of this little bump this year. I don't know. I mean, maybe
all the
I'm wrong,
numbers are up.
but it feels
all the
like
watch
that would go
numbers are
down,
up.
unfortunately, at no fault of either franchise. If it is the Mariners and the Brewers, it just feels so random, right?
Yeah, it feels like that Rangers Diamondbacks series.
Yeah.
Even though I do think that there is like I think there's a passionate following for the Brewers. I don't think that
for
way
sure.
about the Diamondbacks or Rangers.
Or Mariners.
I mean, probably the least followed team would be like, the Rockies?
Yeah.
Because in Denver, if you're making a hierarchy, it's like the Broncos 1 through 9.
Correct.
And then it's, like when you get down to 52, it's like the Rockies.
Yeah,
like they're behind the
you're right.
Avs, they're behind the Nuggets.
I mean, CU.
Yeah, they're CSU some
Yeah,
years
you're right.
when CSU's good. It's way down there. We got to get to quick hits, right?
How about our
Yeah,
Jags?
is this segment 3?
I want to do the
Okay, this is
Jags report, baby.
Okay,
Come
you
on.
want to do that first?
Yeah, I got the
All right,
Jag right
let's
here. Are you
do
kidding
Jags
me?
report. By the way, we don't have the audio to play right now. I heard a little birdie, and that birdie is, I guess, Lauren in the athletics communications office at IUND. New school song.
They
You
want
excited?
They want you to sing it, Derek.
You excited? But you were excited about the song too.
can you do
We
me a favor?
rarely get excited about things at the same time, but we were both excited. That feels good. Shoulder feels good. Like there's more muscle mass there.
I'd like to say this, if I could, please, to IUND.
It's just
And
great
the
that we're
fabulous
so
folks over
close
there. Luke,
here at Hoagies.
Ed,
Are we on this
Lauren,
camera?
all of it. Okay, listen.
How we doing?
It is to me, as somebody, and I've said this a million times, okay? The number of colleges that I took classes is pretty impressive, right? And honestly, the quality of education that I got at IUND, I loved it because of this. There was just something about like being downtown and taking the classes there, and there was this studious nature about it of people that were there for the right reasons. And I really loved my time being able to take classes at IUND, and it kind of got me back on track a little bit. And I love the athletics there, as I've mentioned, because Division I, you're seeing local kids, you're seeing Division I athletes right here in downtown Indianapolis. They've got a new basketball arena that's being built. That's underway. It's an exciting time. IUND, the Jags, all of it, right? I love all of it. The only thing I will say is if they could just for a split second slow down the momentum, slow down the growth, slow down the excitement, because with each new thing that they're doing and each new level that they're taking this athletic department, it's that much more reason where Derek feels compelled to touch me. And that I can do without.
It's just when I get excited.
Well, I get it, but
I just want to reach out and touch my bud. That's all. My buddy, my pal. One of my
that is pretty solid, though, isn't it?
dearest friends. Yeah, it's good. You want to feel mine?
No, that's okay.
I've been
That's
doing
okay.
shrugs here. I'll just rub it
That's
on
okay.
you.
Men's soccer, by the way, they did have a tough 1-0 loss. Men's soccer did to unbeaten Purdue Fort Wayne. They did outshoot them 12-10, but unfortunately losing 1-0. But no worries. Next home game, they play tonight at the time that this is going to be airing out at Michael Carroll Stadium. But after tonight, October 25th, not only is that Bob Knight's birthday, speaking of IU, but this is IU Indy, Senior Day versus Detroit Mercy for men's soccer, downtown Indianapolis, Division I athletics. Tickets available at iuindyjags.com/tickets. I'm assuming that's probably all right down there at the bottom of the screen. Women's soccer, the women's side of things, dropped one to Youngstown State this week. They did drop one to Youngstown State, but they earned a point in a 1-1 draw versus Robert Morris. Kyla Mildrow, by the way, with a goal in that game. They are on the road this week up in Wisconsin, taking on Milwaukee and Green Bay. Hey, did you hear IU Indy? The ladies are going to be up here in Wisconsin. That's my Wisconsin accent. But October 29th coming up. They are at home versus Purdue Fort Wayne. That is Breast Cancer Awareness Night. October 29th, downtown Indianapolis, Purdue Fort Wayne, and IU Indy in women's soccer. And hot streak alert, Derek. Hot streak alert. Okay? Pay attention.
I'm paying
The
attention.
volleyball team of IU Indy right now. This is the best value in town if you want to come out. Volleyball is an unbelievable sport to watch because
I love
it's fast-paced. It is edge of your seat stuff when you watch volleyball because it's a very rhythm-type sport. And right now the rhythm is best for IU Indy's volleyball team because they have won 5 straight. They swept Robert Morris over the course of the week.
Eat it, RMU.
Excuse
Are
me?
we fans or not? Let's go.
No, do you know Robert Morris? Eat it, you said?
Eat it, yeah. How you like them apples?
3-1 in the first set, and then a
Bobby
tough set. What's that?
Sorry, keep going.
Okay,
Yeah,
anyway.
just
They
ignore
are
me.
back in the jungle this week. 2 games, okay? This Friday at 6 in the jungle for IU Indy volleyball, continuing that 5-game win streak, hot streak, and then Saturday at 2 o'clock. Both of those are against Youngstown State. Friday at 6, Saturday at 2 in the afternoon. Again, ticket information, iuindyjags.com/tickets. And the new song, does that come out next week?
It's out now, but maybe we'll bring it to the show next week.
I love the
We'll
little
see if we
Jag
can't
here.
get the audio
I
to
love
Vince.
the Jag.
Yeah. It's nice and soft.
You already touched me numerous
It's like
times.
the opposite of this. This is hard. This is soft.
There have been several uncomfortable innuendos on this program today, but none of them has been more uncomfortable than a little pause.
I do have small hands,
Kenny
but I
Pickett.
also have vice grip. Like, I don't want to hurt you. I know you bruise easily because the heart's bad and all that.
Not to get into some sort of political discussion here, but I'm actually getting my flu shot later today, so tomorrow do you want to come by and just rub the shoulder because it might be sore?
I don't know if I want to touch you. I'm afraid that I'll get the cooties from the flu shot, right? Maybe I'll
Okay.
get the mind control. Like,
Apparently, I've got to get the RSV also. Are you familiar with the RSV?
yeah, that's for
Recommended for
respiratory,
over
right?
50. Yeah,
Okay,
so I got to
yeah.
get the RSV also.
Yeah. Well, you're old. That's what happens. Let's run down the quick hits real quick. Ben Matherin, I know we were just talking about Vince. Really excited about this, even though the Pacers lost last night. 31 points, 11 of 12 shooting from the field.
Very good shooting from outside as well.
Yeah, and, obviously the Pacers are going to need him to have a really big season with Halliburton's absence. Pacers wrap up the preseason Friday night in San Antonio, their season opener a week from Thursday. Can you believe it?
I know.
Maybe it's just because they made the finals.
way,
It just feels like that was not that long ago.
I went to the Pacers-Spurs game last night, and let me tell you, Victor Wembanyama is frightening.
He grew, apparently. Did you see this? He grew to 7'5" or something. He grew 2 inches.
He had a pull-up 3 from like 28 feet, and it was like effortless. This guy's,
watching him move.
I looked over at Rick Smits, who's 7'4", and I'm like, Rick Smits was an anomaly when he played, and I'm like, and this guy's like playing point.
It's like watching AI. Like,
It is.
it looks fake. When he dribbles and moves,
I know.
like, it's this motion that you're like, your brain doesn't process it. It's like, this should not happen. Somebody this large should not be able to move this fluidly.
Being there and watching the Spurs and seeing their front line play and knowing that you're in the presence of greatness because Bismack Biyombo was on the floor.
Yeah, great player. Is that his 14th NBA team now?
We looked it up yesterday. I was with Byron. 7th team.
Okay.
7th.
Yeah.
You know the best thing about Bismack Biyombo?
What's that?
His name's Bismack Biyombo.
Yeah, that is a great name.
Yeah.
It's a great name.
It's the best.
Brian Callahan over in Nashville. We talked about that. He got fired. He's bad. 4-19, 1-5 this season. How about this, Jake? Do you know how many head coaches Tennessee's had since Jeff Fisher now?
Oh.
What one this will be?
6.
Yeah, this will be their 6th head coach.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Since 2010.
Here's the problem.
The 2010 season.
The problem is this. This is where the Tennessee Titans have erred. I say that maybe this is good because they're nipping it in the bud early. But when you have a young franchise number 1 draft pick quarterback, you've got to get stability around him. Look no further than Jacksonville and how they screwed up the Trevor Lawrence era by having Urban Meyer and making a disastrous move there. You absolutely, if you are drafting a quarterback number 1, you need stability in that situation. And Tennessee has screwed this up with Cam Ward.
No question about that. And finally, Purdue is your preseason number 1, as we talked about. First ever preseason number 1 for Purdue in their men's basketball history.
Purdue also, since 2010, one of, Gonzaga, Duke, Kentucky, Kansas, Purdue. Those are the programs that have been ranked number 1 for, 5 or 6
At some point in 5 straight
Correct.
years, those
In
are the
5
only
straight years,
programs that have been ranked
It's
number 1.
impressive.
Yeah,
I still love, by the way, the
incredible.
volleyball team.
come
Volleyball
back
for
on the show.
IU Indy, 6 o'clock Friday, 2 o'clock Saturday.
Chateau Kitchen's Buy It or Bow Bleep, and we'll wrap this baby up. It's Q&S from Hoagies and Hops and Chili Water Brewing Tap Room here on the ISC Sports Network.
Hey, AC.
Nice snap.
Mortgage is a snap. Duh.
Bailey and Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
Hey, AC.
Nice snap.
Mortgage is a snap. Duh.
Bailey and Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
Back for a final time here at Query and Schultz, Chili Water Brewing Tap Room, Hoagies and Hops, 42nd and Boulevard. He's Jake. I'm Derek. Thanks to our tremendous ISC crew here. We got basically everybody here. Vince is in the truck. I know Rake's in the truck. We got Charlie right in front of us. We got Brant over here taking pictures and such for socials. And, of course, Christina and the rest of the crew for letting us in early before they open to tape this show. Little Nan's potato salad, little Phillyapolis Colts cheesesteak. I mean, just a wonderful,
builder.
wonderful time. Once I told Jake, I was like, hey, I think we're going to start taping at Hoagies, Hops, and Chili Water. He's like, does that mean we can get cheesesteaks? And here we are,
yes.
show number 2.
By the way,
we got a cheesesteak.
Speaking of team builder from Chili Water, Renus VK has a new team, Hunkos Hollinger Racing. A little bit
good
of a
for him.
surprise. I thought for sure he was going to end up with AJ Foyt Racing, but obviously there was a funding issue in regards to that, I think. So Hunkos Hollinger for Renus VK.
They do a lot with not a ton, right? It's been a competitive
For sure.
program.
Yeah.
They've done a nice job, I think, over the years, all things considered. Let's get to Buy It or Bow Bleep. It's brought to you by our friends at Chateau Kitchens, at Chateau Kitchens on Instagram and Facebook for before and after pictures. In-home transformations at Chateau. Stephen Moore, Megan, Ryan. They've got multiple Ryans on their crew. Victoria was one of our designers for a project. Kitchens, bathrooms, anything on the inside of your home, wet bars, basements. They've done it all for me. They can do it all for you. ChateauKitchens.com to get your free quote. Buy it or Bowl Bleep. If you don't know what we do with this, I give a statement. Jake and I go back and forth whether we buy it or it's Bowl Bleep.
This
Indiana,
hat looks good. Buy it or bowl. The hat looks great, but on me in that.
You're
design.
a good, yeah. I am not a good hat wearer. You're a good hat wearer. Yeah, I have a regular shaped head.
I went. My
So
buddy
that's
Jeff
part of
Hester and I went recently over to the Indianapolis Indians Victory Field gift shop to pick up some of their new hats.
Yeah, Charlie's got the new INDY hat on, which is pretty cool.
I'm a fan.
IU's going to go undefeated. Buy it or Bowl Bleep. We kind of already talked about this.
In the regular season?
Yeah. They're going to go 12-0.
Yeah, I buy it.
Yeah, I buy it too.
I mean, they could stub their toe.
Of
but
course, yeah. I mean, they could, but this is a show where you have to make like definitive statements, and my definitive statement is that they're running the table.
Okay. Yeah, buy it.
What's even the toughest? I mean, I guess it's still State College by default. Is
How
the
about
toughest game
December
left?
6th?
Like,
Mark
they
your
don't have
calendar.
any tough games left.
Downtown Indianapolis, December 6th. Indiana Louisville in basketball, Big Ten championship, Lucas Oil Stadium in football.
I saw somebody tweet us that, and I was almost like, I'll be honest with you, man. I haven't thought 1 second about IU men's basketball
Or Louisville.
for months. Yeah. So we don't have to make every football thing about basketball. Like, just be excited about football right now. Because basketball, whatever. Maybe basketball finds its way, maybe it doesn't. But everything else at IU is cooking right now. I really don't think that the men's basketball team is worth much of your time.
That's fair.
They can earn that back, but I'm not going to tell you how to be a fan, I guess. But to me, I'm not thinking 1 second about IU men's basketball, maybe until the season starts. The Colts need to go all in on a trade this season if one presents itself. Buy it or Bull
Schultz.
Yeah, I would go all in.
Nah.
I would go all in. I would push all in for this season. This is a very weird.
So DB, I mean,
everything. Hendrickson, pass rush, whatever. I would push all in. This is a very strange year, and it feels like for whatever reason the window has flown wide open. And
that's fair.
Clearly, Jake, the core of this team are all veteran guys. I mean, the core players.
That's
Zaire and Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman Jr. And Quentin Nelson. They've all been in the league 6, 7, 8 years. So the time to strike is now.
How about I got one for you.
If they went to the Super Bowl this year and then went 4-12 next year, who cares? You just went to the Super Bowl.
You ready for mine?
Yeah.
Buy it or Bull Schultz. When your birthday happens in, I think is it April?
Are you doing that to be mean?
Huh?
It's February. Are you doing that to be mean?
When your birthday happens this year, you will turn a year that will exceed the Pacers' win total.
Bull. Wait, hold on. How old am I going to be? 43. So that'd be 43 and 39. No, I think the Pacers are going to win 40. I think the Pacers are going to win 46 games.
Okay, that's fair.
Yep.
I would say 45, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're
going to be better than
games.
people think, yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're still really good. That's a really good roster.
No, you're right.
Furphy dunking on dudes. Hell yeah, brother. Dude, he's crazy. Like, he's crazy. He just dunks on guys.
He does.
What an athlete. You thought Obi Toppin was the best in-game dunker in the NBA, man. Furphy might have him beat. That's what's so cool about the Pacers is that not only are they good, they're fun. Like, no offense to like the George Hill, Paul George teams. Like, that wasn't fun basketball to watch where they're winning 81-77. Sure. You know what I mean? Like, they were an elite defensive team. They were okay offensively. This is fun basketball to watch.
Listen, there was some discussion that without Halliburton, they'd try to slow it down. They're not going to. They're going to play fast. Play
fast. Because you got Furf and Obi dunking on dudes.
I'm a little worried about, and I don't think that the long-term center is on the roster right now, but the Jackson, Wiseman, Huff by committee, I'm a little worried about.
I'm not worried about it at all because you got a guy like Furf, you got a guy like Obi, dunk on folks. Whenever something bad happens at center, just start throwing oops. Or just give him the ball and get the hell out of the way. Just dunk on guys.
Okay.
We need a bucket right now. 2.5 seconds left. Furf, you're in there. Toss it up to him. Like, Carlisle knows this. He's the best coach in the league, but I can help. So far, the videos you've seen, he's dunking on you. Furf? Yeah. He could dunk on me. That'd be incredible. I'd put it on Insta. I wouldn't even care.
You win your $30 gift card, right?
Thanks to our tremendous ISC crew. I already thanked them by name, so I'm not going to do it again.
Please
get big heads.
tag Hoagies and Hops on Instagram.
Yes. For our $30 gift card giveaway, add Hoagies and Hops and tag us as well. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Let them know what Sando that you want, and then you'll get a gift card to buy the Sando from our drawing.
Sandwich.
Sando. We'll be back next week and every week right here from Chili Water Tap Room and Hoagies and Hops, 42nd and Boulevard. But until next time, thanks to all of our great sponsors. I forgot the sponsors. Hoagies and Hops, Chili Water Brewing, Tap Room, our presenting sponsor, Bailey and Wood Financial Group. Thanks to them. Yes, IUND as well. And our friends at Chateau Kitchens. For Jake, I'm Derek. Bye. We'll see you next time here on Corey and Schultz.
At Bailey & Wood, we pride ourselves on our 5-star customer service. But at our core, we're a family. Family owned, and family to our customers, staff, and our community. From charity events to recognizing hometown heroes, we prioritize giving back to our communities that have always supported our growth. So let us help you get your dream home today.